I was a young pastor, I had the privilege of learning how to sail. I'd never been on a sailboat before, so it was quite thrilling to me. And one of the most exciting parts of learning how to sail was going down to the harbor in Toronto every Tuesday night and being involved in a race. And that was exciting, of course. The boats and the speed and the wind and the waves, it was all just so wonderful. Now, the main purpose of that race was, of course, to win, to get across the finish line first. And to do that, we had to navigate our way from point to point to point, and being careful not to hit any other boats, to stay on course and to stay safe. And it was very exciting. I soon realized that sailing was all about that little rudder. If you didn't have that rudder guiding the boat, we wouldn't get anywhere quickly. We'd be all over the place. And it reminded me, and it still does, of the quote by Thomas Carlyle, who says, "A man without a purpose is like a ship without a rudder." Isn't that true? A man without a purpose is like a ship without a rudder. God has designed us all for a purpose, for a mission. And He has that planned out for each and every one of us. And each and every one of us has a very unique mission in God's ultimate purpose and plans, which He is working out. We realize, we know, we find out that God is sovereign, and He is working out His sovereign plan, and He uses men and women just like us. And when you look around, you find a lot of people who are very inspiring. They're people who are on a mission. They have a strong understanding of their life purpose. Even added to that, when you see and discover men and women who are men and women of great character on that purpose-filled life, that mission-centered life, it's even more exciting. One gentleman I remember seeing on television once was Nick Vujicic. Nick has no arms or legs. He came to know Christ as a young man, and before that was very distraught, very struggling with life, didn't have a sense of purpose or mission. But once he found Jesus Christ and came into a personal living relationship with God through Christ, he then discovered God's purpose, His mission for Nick's life. And again, that reminds me of the scripture in Exodus chapter 9, verse 16, which says, "But I have raised you up for this very purpose, that I might show you my power, and that my name might be proclaimed in all the earth." Exodus 9:16 in the scriptures. God has a great purpose for us, and it's to glorify Him. And Christians without an understanding of purpose, ultimately to glorify God, and then some very specific life goals and missions that He has set us on, are kind of like Alice in the fairy tale Alice in Wonderland. And there's a part in there where Alice is talking with the Cheshire Cat, and she says, or asks him, "Would you please tell me which way I ought to go from here?" And the Cheshire Cat responds by saying, "That depends a good deal on where you want to get to." And Alice says, "I don't care very much where." And so the cat replies very slyly, "Then it doesn't matter which way you go." It's a very interesting little exchange, isn't it? As Billy Sunday, the great preacher, once said, "More men fail through lack of purpose than lack of talent." If we don't have a purpose in our life, if we don't understand that God is working His sovereign plan out through us and giving us a mission, then we will just be like a sailboat, rudderless, going through life, not being able to hit the marks, the points of purpose that God has laid out for us. So I want to let you know that this week I'm praying for you as you all study Esther, especially chapters 1 through 3 this week, and recognize that God has a purpose for each one of us. Esther and the characters in this book demonstrate that God has a mission for each one of us. He has a mission that will benefit His greater and sometimes more than often imperceptible plan, His sovereign plan that is working out in, through us, and around us and among us. So I pray that you just enjoy the study and love each other and care for each other this week as a small community of people walking with Jesus and desiring to love and serve God.